Hey guys, what's up? Mano here. In the last video, I talked about my experience with the Royal Enfield Meteor 350. All I can say, it is a fun little cruiser that handles like a dream. Yes, I made a review about that bike, so go check it out after this one. Now, on the same day that I rode that bike, Royal Enfield Cebu allowed me to test the Meteor's younger and more aggressive sibling, which is the Hunter 350. So in this episode, I'll be talking about general specs, ergonomics, what I have learned in my short time with it, and my recommendations to you. Now, since I have a bit more time to compose what I have to say about the Hunter, let's begin with the specs, the ones that matter the most. So this is a recent release by Royal Enfield. It is a neo-retro style roadster made purposely for the urban rider who wants a cool looking bike that is capable of squeezing in and out of tight spaces. Styling is old school British with a modern twist on it. Based on what I see without knowing the specs first, this bike gives me the impression of a very agile motorcycle capable of taking corners at entertaining speeds and stopping at a moment's notice. You know what? This bike reminds me of another motorcycle that I used to ride back in my 20s. If you know what this bike is, leave a comment below. Now, the Hunter 350 is powered by a 349cc air and oil-cooled 4-stroke single that produces around 20 horsepower and 27 Nm of torque. Managing all that power to the rear wheel is a smooth, shifting 5-speed manual transmission. Suspension at the front is a 41mm non-adjustable telescopic fork. At the back, you get twin shocks with preload adjustability. The chassis is a twin down-tube spine frame that uses the engine as a stress member. Fuel capacity is at 12.8 liters. Seat height is a reasonable 31 inches off the ground. Wheels are very sporty 17s, front and back, and putting you to a stop is a set of disc brakes by Brembo. 300mm discs at the front, 270mm at the back, and yes, it's got ABS. You get all of this in a 53-inch wheelbase, and the bike weighs in at 151 kilograms. Now, with those figures out of the way, what do I have to say about this neo-retro roadster? Alright, for rider size reference, and to give you an idea of what to expect, this is me at 6'1", 95 kilograms, with a 32-inch inseam. As you can see, this bike looks like a 125 with me on it. The seat is narrow, but very comfortable, and you can see my knees are bent, which means this bike is very welcoming to shorter riders. Reach to the bars is a bit forward for my taste, and it puts me in an upright yet aggressive position. This bike carries its center of mass really low, which is a good thing, making it very flickable and easy to move around. Now, riding around in the heavy urban traffic where I'm from, the Hunter is actually a pretty fun bike. The power is not something to brag about, honestly, but it's more than enough to keep things entertaining. It's smooth, predictable, but it's got the low-end torque that you need in this situation. Shifting up and down the gears is also very satisfying. No clunky shifting behavior like previous Royal Enfields, and the clutch is very light. Combine this with a generous low-end torque, I can keep the bike in third gear at these speeds without stalling or anything. Suspension on the Hunter is pretty stiff, but it absorbs most small road imperfections easily. Big potholes or speed bumps make their presence known, so be careful of bottoming them out. But these are expected from a street bike, and I'm not complaining about it. In terms of handling, I was really blown away by how light and agile the Meteor was. But this bike, the Hunter 350, this is a different level. It's so easy to lean into tight spaces, and splitting lanes is a lot more entertaining. The short wheelbase and low center of gravity makes me feel like I'm riding a 125. Putting this bike to a quick stop is done by those massive brakes. Seriously, I think the Hunter 350 is over-equipped in this area. The big front rotor with the 2-piston caliper is more than enough to slow this bike down. The rear brake is actually more than enough to keep everything in control at these speeds. In fact, I use it 80% of the time weaving in and out of the traffic that you see here. And yes, the ABS works really well. Now this is a partial review. This is more of a city ride, but if I was given the time and the opportunity to take this out in the twisties, I would gladly do so and give you my honest opinions about that as well. But anyway, just a quick side note, about that. I was looking at the tires of this bike, and being 17s, you have a lot of tire options from super sticky street tires to dual sport rubber if you're thinking of turning this into a scrambler or something. This looks like a perfect platform for a custom build, in my opinion. Now the rear tire, especially, is a 140 by 70 17, and from the looks of that stock rim, I believe it can accommodate a wider 150 by 60 tire without any adverse effects to the tire profile and contact patch. In my opinion, you will be adding more grip if you use a wider rear tire if you want to go hard in the corners. Something to consider if the stock tires wear out. Now here's the cool part about the Hunter. You get a great all-around street bike, premium fit and finish, comfortable, lightweight, quick handling, really good looking bike by the way, with overkill brakes. And of course, the power is easy to manage, and for a price of 233,000 Philippine pesos, it's not that bad, In fact, it is underpriced in my opinion. So in short, it is a great deal. Now the big question, who is this bike for? All I can say, it's for everyone. From new riders wanting to upgrade to something slightly bigger, and to experienced riders who are looking for something, something else, something fun. May you be tall or short, big or skinny, this is an awesome bike, and I highly recommend that you take this one out for a test ride to see for yourself what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's it for this video. Like and subscribe if you found this informative, and leave a comment about this bike. As always, see you next time. Bye.